Did you know that Oscar Hernandez's RICO charges and trial in K-Flock will start on March 10th? According to what seems to be a worrying instance of proof, Flock is claiming that he will return home sooner than we think and is phoning the top 5 rappers.
Talk to them, Flock. Talk to them, my dog. Soon come home, man. You got these little boys walking around with no jewels, Flock. They need you. They need you, Flock.
The trial of New York rapper K-Flock was rescheduled for March 10th after it was disclosed that he had filed a bond request in court this morning. He has been behind bars since 2021, and the news report most likely began by stating that his team had raised issues regarding his present jail circumstances in the trial. Numerous physical altercations have resulted from inmates chasing the rapper for cash, snacks, and commissary. K-Flock's incarceration is a result of the offenses that. However, because his lawyers believe his trial will be a resounding success, he did make a statement about his imminent release from prison. According to the trial summary, Oscar Hernandez was killed on December 23, 2021, as a result of an altercation involving New York rapper K-Flock, also known as Kevin Perry's. As shown in the pictures, Flock is seen wearing a blue coat and walking past a barbershop with 2 other individuals. A Flock passes the store, and a man called Oscar Hernandez enters wearing a shy mask. Oscar shouts, "What are you looking at?" as he suddenly discovers it's obstructed. On the street, the two get into a brief argument, but Hernandez begins to leave K-Flock after they have exchanged yells. The Flock pulls his gun from his belt and points it at Hernandez multiple times while he tries to. People were fleeing as he was left on the sidewalk and ran back into the barbershop. Police and an ambulance were called, and he would tragically pass away in the hospital from his wounds. Only Hernandez's slides, which he was wearing, and shot casings remained at the scene. For a full day, the NYPD had no clues and no idea who was responsible for Oscar's accident. However, shortly after, they had video surveillance and shared information on there. Due to K-Flock's notoriety, his admirers promptly reported him to the police and claimed that it was him because he was wearing the fancy jacket on Instagram on the day of the event. He then seized the chance to employ one of the top lawyers in the industry after the NYPD issued an arrest warrant for FL. Flock and his lawyer met the following day and went into the 30th precinct of the NYPD. I went with him when his lawyer made this declaration public yesterday. As soon as we found out that Kevin was wanted for the charges against him, we contacted the NYPD. After reviewing the case and examining the DA's noteworthy disclosure, we will talk about bail. We have already begun our inquiry into these claims. Detectives from the 30th precinct took Kevin into custody. Upon seeing all of the government evidence, Flock's lawyer was certain that K-Flock was defending himself.
When the guy hits the ground and is found, he's got a loaded that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. We consider that to be self-defense.
So he did keep him in self-defense.
That's what the allegation is. I don't want to talk too much about the details of the case,
Okay.
but the government claims that he pulled but at the same time, the person that was ground had his hand on a illegal loaded, apparently about Kevin.
Okay. So without saying too much, you're arguing obviously self-defense. That's the crux of the case.
That could be one of the arguments, self-defense, and I would say to the public, somebody's walking up to you with a loaded, pretty clear is going to use it, with a criminal record a mile long. Do you want to get or do you not want to?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't hesitate to pull.
The NYPD said after the statement was released that they thought the event had something to do with the streets because Flock was a member of a Bronx-based street unit. It is known that he controls many circumstances, is highly involved in street-related acts, and was a prime target when his operations retaliated. His best friend said that this swiftly ruined his reputation in the rap scene.
Okay, but so I saw some fans who were off at both me and academics after K-Flock got locked up just because I guess in our tone when we talked about it, it might have seemed like we were being a little too presumptuous. But is that weird for you? Because I'm sure you see people all the way from rappers to whoever acting like your boy is just done and that he's cooked in this situation.
I ain't gonna lie,
especially people that don't even be knowing. Like, y'all don't even know what's going on. Bro.
Yeah.
In response to this case, rappers asserted that K-Flock and his lawyers are positive that this was an act of self-defense, that they would have gotten a good outcome, and that he would have been released sooner rather than later.
What's it like for you watching the K-Flock thing happen? That's crazy. Next big artist coming out of New York.
I love Flock, so I like that.
I like
That's my guy.
Okay.
But you know, I'm wishing him the best right now, you know what I'm saying? And you know, for the alleged charges they pushing on him, you know what I'm saying? I'm wishing his family the best, I'm wishing the whole team the best and everything, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he beat them alleged charges, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because he got a lot of future brightness he got, and I hope, you know what I'm saying, everything just wake all the young kids up. Like how fat it just,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
That would be
You'll
a
here
sad
and
story if that's the end of it.
then- No, we ain't gonna think like that, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta stay.
But when it was disclosed that a federal grand jury had accused K-Flock on multiple new charges of racketeering conspiracy, or the RICO charges, Clock's case deteriorated when Clock's lawyers bolstered their defense of self-defense. Hip-hop artists responded to the news by expressing sympathy for K-Flock. K-Flock has successfully captured the RICO. The FBI recently released an indictment against K-Flock for a RICO offense, according to DG Scholars. If he doesn't fight the charges or snitch, he faces state penalties that may land him in prison for life. The feds will do whatever it takes to get you, Melody, when they want you, which is connected to what Boozy said.
When they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted them bad when they waited for that law to get passed. So it'd be 8-4.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, they waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a mistrial.
The incident was a blatant act of self-defense. Thus, the federal charges are not shocking to us, as we have been battling Kevin's state accusations for over a year. Even his lawyers concur that K-Flock ought to be out of jail by now, and they would address the fresh RICO allegations. The film depicts Kevin being about to be affected after attempting to leave the other person. Thus, it's wonderful that it's now being used as the basis for a possible penalty case. Kevin didn't use an object to defend himself and another from an armed team member until recently. Stick, a co-defendant of Clock, tweeted that the authorities are contacting his fellow academics and other sources to gather evidence about K-Flock. He declined to inform on K-Flock when they urged him to do so, just as he was about to pull his belongings out of his pocket. Using the caption, "Did stuff at RL together," I shared this Instagram photo of K and Sticky flocking on a street in New York City. I suppose we must stand up for our independence from these individuals as a team. Everything is good until those individuals arrive and tell you, "Tell us about Kevin. Help yourself." Since 30 years is a long time, I guess I'll see you then. The news is both good and awful. Fortunately for K-Flock, his co-defendant will support him all the way through. In situations as serious as this one, the FBI is searching for possible spies against K-Flock, and the bad news is that at least 15 people are being targeted for this charge. These reports will probably lead to someone coming forward to expose him, but it reminds me a lot of Durk's current situation, where he was falsely accused of snitching. Lil Durk learned that his co-defendant, OTF Fanani, had applied for protective custody, for example, when the two of them appeared in court together this week.
Don't know what's going on, but them people that's in them courtrooms, man, for real. Them be false accusations. Y'all don't even know what the be going on for real. Y'all really be trying to play Inspector Gadget and all this. Y'all just be weird as hell. That's what I be talking about, man. Like, first y'all just threw the jam rumors out there. Now y'all talking about money up snitch, gang. A snitch on what? Y'all don't even really know what's going on for real. Some of my kids, y'all really just be running. And that's why I don't participate in nothing that got to do with nothing illegal. Because of you motherfuckers, y'all be trying to get them put under the jail.
We eventually received a comment from K-Flock himself after all of this. In the outside world, he was on FaceTime with his buddies. However, it is unknown how he managed to get FaceTime in jail. But sources claim that Clock can do anything he wants with his commissary money. Many fans have pointed out that he doesn't look like the confident, typical K-Flock that we are all accustomed to seeing in these FaceTime pictures. Rather, he seems anxious and almost as if he has been crying in prison. The call lasted for around 20 seconds, and due to copyright, I am unable to post it. However, these pictures clearly show K-Flock's current appearance and his feelings regarding his predicament.